Yes, Executor. It shall be done. For Adun. Of course.
I long for combat.
I hear you.
I long for combat. Honor guide me.
How may I help? Your will? Of course.
I long for combat.
I hear you. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala.
Man calls.
I hear you. Tarakala.
Tea house.
How may I help?
I long for combat.
How may I help?
Esau too.
Your will?
What man calls. Honor guide
Your
me.
will? For Adun. It shall be done. I hear you. Of course. Tarakala. Of course.
Esau too. I long for combat.
Yes, Executor. For Adun. I hear you. Of course. For Adun. Of course. For Adun. Tarakala. Yes, Executor. Tarakala. Of course. Tarakala. I hear you. For Adun. Of course. I hear you. For Adun. Tarakala. I hear you.
Esau too.
Yes, Executor.
I long for combat. Gaogola.
How may I
Tea
help?
house. For Adun. Honor guide me. For Adun. I long for combat. For Adun.
Yes, Executor.
What man calls.
I hear you. How may I help? For Adun.
Tea house. I long for combat.
How may I help? Tarakala. For Adun. Tarakala. It shall be done. For Adun. Of course. For Adun. Of course.
I long for combat. Professor.
How may I help? Of course. Tarakala. Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala. For Adun. Tarakala. For Adun. Tarakala. Of course.
I long for combat. For Adun.
Yes, Executor. It shall be done. I hear you. For Adun. Tarakala. Of course. Yes, Executor. For Adun. Tarakala. Of course. It shall be done.
I long for combat.
Your will?
I long for
I
combat.
hear you. Of course. Tarakala. Of course.
Tea house.
Mind if we tag along?
Of course. It shall be done.
Esau too.
I hear you.
Standing
How
by.
may I help?
I long for combat. For Adun.
How may I help? Tarakala. Of course. Tarakala. Of course.
What man calls.
How may I help?
What man calls.
I hear you. Of course. For Adun. Of course. It shall be done. Tarakala. For Adun. Tarakala. For Adun. Tarakala. It shall be done.
I long for combat.
Of course. Tarakala. Of course. How may I help? Of course. Yes, Executor. For Adun, it shall be done. For Adun.
What man calls?
Yes, Executor. It shall be done. I hear you. For Adun. How may I do
I long for combat.
How may I help? Tarakala! It shall be done. Tarakala! For Adun! Tarakala! It shall be done. Tarakala! It shall be done. For Adun! Tarakala! Yes, Executor? How may I help? Yes, Executor? I hear you. Tarakala!
House.
I hear you. Tarakala! It shall be done. For Adun! It shall be done. For Adun! Tarakala! For Adun! It shall be done.
House. For Adun.
Your will? Of course.
House.
Your will? It shall be done. Yes, Executor? Of course. It shall be done. Of course. It shall be done.
Mind if we tag along?
Boss, I serve.
Standing by.
Yes, Executor? For Adun.
Standing by.
Your will? Tarakala! Of course. I hear you. It shall be done. For Adun. I hear you. Yes, Executor? Of course.
What man calls? For Adun. I long for combat. For Adun. Go, Boss, I serve. Honor guide me.
Yes, Executor? For Adun. Tarakala! It shall be done. Tarakala! Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala!
What man calls? Boss, I serve.
Yes, Executor? Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala! Of course. It shall be done. Tarakala! It shall be done. For Adun. It shall be done. I hear you. How may I help? For Adun. Of course. Tarakala! Of course. For Adun. Tarakala! It shall be done. Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala! Of course.
Teleportation field activated.
Confirmed. Sakalados.
Your will?
Jacked up and good to go. Commander,
How may I help?
standing by.
Your will? I hear you. Tarakala! Of course. For Adun. Tarakala! Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala! Of course. For Adun. Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. It shall be done. Your will? How may I help? Of course. Yes, Executor? Tarakala! Of course.
Give me
Tarakala!
something to shoot.
Yes, Executor? Tarakala!
I long for combat.
Your will? It shall be done.
Transmitted.
I hear you. For Adun. Of course. For Adun. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala. Yes, Executor. Tarakala. Of course. It shall be done. Tarakala!
Receiving.
Did you
Confirmed.
hear that?
Yes, Executor? Tarakala! It shall be done. Of course. For Adun.
Honor guide me. For Adun.
Yes, Executor?
She house.
Yes, Executor? It shall be done.
Isasu. Kaokola.
Yes, Executor? Tarakala! Of course. It shall be done. Of course. Tarakala! Of course.
Isasu. Kaokola.
Your will? Tarakala! Of course. Tarakala! For Adun. It shall be done. For Adun. It shall be done. Of course.
I long for combat. Thus I serve.
Your will?
I long for combat. Thus I serve.
Yes, Executor? Of course. It shall be done. Of course. Tarakala! Of course. It shall be done. Tarakala! For Adun.
Isasu.
Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. It shall be done. Of course. Yes, Executor? It shall be done.
I long for
Yes,
combat.
Executor? For Adun. Of course. It shall be done. Tarakala! It shall be done. For Adun. It shall be done. For Adun.
I long for combat.
I help. Your will? Yes, Executor? Tarakala! It shall be done. For Adun. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala! It shall be done. How may I help? For Adun. It shall be done.
Commander,
What man
I
calls?
hear you. Tarakala! Your will? For Adun. It shall be done. For Adun. Yes, Executor? For Adun. Tarakala!
Teleportation field activated.
Your will? It shall be done. Of course. Yes, Executor? Of course. For Adun. Tarakala! For Adun.
Commander, go, go, go.
I hear you. How may I help?
Standing by.
How may I help? Your will? Yes, Executor? For Adun.
I long for combat. Thus I serve. Kaokola.
I hear you.
I
Tarakala!
long for combat.
Standing by.
I hear you. Of course. For Adun.
What man calls?
Yes, Executor?
I long for combat. Kaokola. Honor guide me. For Adun. Thus I serve. For Adun. Kaokola. Thus I serve. Kaokola.
How may I help?
I long for combat.
How may I help?
Isasu. Honor
I
guide
hear
me.
you. For Adun. Of course. It shall be done.
Awaiting instructions.
Yes,
You
Executor?
hear that?
How
Kaokola.
may I help? Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala! Adun, Tarakala. Of course. For Adun.
Transmit.
How may I help? Tarakala.
Make use of me.
I hear you. Tarakala. It shall be done. Tarakala. For Adun. Of course.
Awaiting instructions.
I hear you. For Adun. Tarakala.
Gotta move.
For Adun. Tarakala. For Adun. Yes, Executor?
For Adun.
How may I help? Of course. For Adun. Tarakala. Of course. Shall be done. Tarakala. For Adun. For Adun. For Adun. Tarakala. For Adun. Shall be done. Tarakala. Of course. Tarakala. For Adun. Yes, Executor. For Adun. Your will. Tarakala. Yes, Executor. Your will. It shall be done. For Adun. It shall be done. Of course. It shall be done. Tarakala. Of course. For Adun. It shall be done. For Adun.
Transmit. Confirmed. Mitora. Command calls. No. Sakalanos.
Your will? For Adun. Of course. How may I help? For Adun. Tarakala. Of course. For Adun. Tarakala. For Adun. Of course. It shall be done. Tarakala. For Adun.
Transmit. Mitora. Initiating. Mitora for
Yes, Executor? Tarakala! It shall be done. Tarakala! Of course.
I long for combat. Thus I serve. Command calls. Key house.
Your will? It shall be done. Tarakala! Of course. It shall be done. Of course.
I am needed commencing.
Yes, Executor? I hear you. It shall be done. Tarakala! Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala! For Adun. Tarakala! It shall be done.
Receiving. Nagatsu.
I hear you. For Adun. Of course. For Adun. Tarakala. It shall be done.
Input command.
I hear you.
Process. Confirmed. Transmitted. Receiving. House.
Standing by. Checked up. Good to go.
Modern calls. House.
How may I help?
I am House.
How may I help? It shall be done. Tarakala! For Adun! Tarakala! For Adun! Of course.
Input command. Confirmed. For vengeance. Commencing.
I hear you. It shall be done. Of course. Tarakala!
Modern calls. Honor guide me. For Adun. Kaokola. Honor guide me. For Adun. Kaokola. Honor guide me.
I hear you. Tarakala! It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala! Of course. For Adun. I hear you. Tarakala! Of course. It shall be done. Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala! Of course. For Adun. Tarakala! For Adun.
Transmitted. Isa 2 receiving. I long for
How
combat.
may I help? Of course. Yes, Executor? Tarakala! It shall be done. Of course.
Modern calls. Kaokola. For Adun.
I hear you. For Adun. Of course. It shall be done.
Make use of me. Confirmed. Commencing. Nagatsu. Initiated. Lopai. Initiated.
How
Lopai.
may I help? For Adun.
Awaiting instructions.
How may I help? Tarakala! It shall be done. Your will? Of course. It shall be done. Tarakala! For Adun! Tarakala! For Adun! Tarakala! Of course. Tarakala! It shall be done. Tarakala! Of course. Your will?
Isa 2. Receiving.
I hear you.
I am needed. Nagatsu. Mitora. Nagatsu.
What was that?
For vengeance. Kaokola. Thus I serve.
Your will? Yes, Executor? Tarakala! For Adun! Tarakala! For Adun! Tarakala! Of course. For Adun! Tarakala! Of course. It shall be done. Of course. I hear you.
Modern calls.
I hear you. Tarakala! Your will? Tarakala! For Adun! Tarakala! Of course. It shall be done. For Adun! Tarakala! Of course. For Adun! Tarakala! Of course. How may I help? It shall be done. Yes, Executor?
I long for combat. Thus I serve.
How may I help? Of course. It shall be done. Tarakala! It shall be done. For Adun! Tarakala! Of course. It shall be done.
House. Honor guide me. For Adun. Kaokola. Honor guide me.
How may I help? Of course.
I long for combat.
Will?
I long for combat. Isa 2. Honor guide me. For Adun. Kaokola.
Yes, Yes, Executive.
Long for combat.
How may I help? Of course. For Adun. Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala. For Adun. Tarakala. Of course. Tarakala. Of course. For Adun. Tarakala. Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala. It shall be done. For Adun. It shall be done. I hear you. Of course. Of course. Yes, Executor. Of course. For Adun. I hear you. Of course. For Adun. Of course. It shall be done.
I long for combat. What man calls?
How may I help? Tarakala! Of course. Tarakala!
What man calls? Esau too. What man calls?
I hear you.
She house. Honor guide me.
Your will?
Jacked up and good to go.
She house. Thus I serve. Kaokola. For Adun. Thus I serve. For Adun. Honor guide me. Kaokola. Honor guide me. For Adun. Honor guide me. Kaokola.
Give me something to shoot.
Esau too. For Adun.
How may I help? For Adun.
Commander, go, go, go.
I hear you. How may I help? It shall be done.
Esau too.
Standing by.
Your will? Tarakala! It shall be done. Tarakala! It shall be done. Tarakala!
What man calls?
Your will? For Adun. Of course. It shall be done. Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala! It shall be done. Tarakala!
What man calls? For Adun. Thus I serve.
Your will? How may I help you? I hear you. Tarakala! For Adun. It shall be done.
She house.
Yes, Executor? It shall be done. For Adun.
I'm here.
How may I help? Yes, Executor?
Ghost report.
Yes, Executor?
Want to turn up the heat?
I hear you. How may I help?
Call the shot.
Want to turn up the heat?
I'm here.
Yes. Slam
Call
it.
the shot.
Yes. Let's burn. Naturally. Let's burn. You got it.
Ah, yeah.
Let's burn. You got it. Slamming. Naturally. Slamming. You got
Call
it.
the shot.
The warriors have engaged the enemy.
Fired up. Finally.
I hear you.
I'm gone. Yes. You got my attention.
I hear you.
Yes. Slamming.
How may I help?
Naturally.
How may I help?
Call the shot.
Yes, Executor? Tarakala!
Call the shot.
Your will? Tarakala! Of course. For Adun, Tarakala! Of course. Tarakala! It shall be done. For Adun. It shall be done. For Adun. It shall be done. For Adun, Tarakala! For Adun, Tarakala! Of course, it shall be done. Of course, it shall be done. For Adun, Tarakala!
Ghost reporting.
Your will, Tarakala! Of course, Tarakala! For Adun! Of course, it shall be done. Tarakala! Your will, for Adun! Tarakala! It shall be done. Of course, it shall be done. Of course. For Adun!
Ghost reporting. I'm gone.
How may I help? It shall be done.
I'm here.
Greetings, Dark One.
Greetings, Executor, and greetings to you, Tacitor. I am